Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today is balance change, baby. Are you guys excited? Well, I wanted to bring you a legendary ranking video because let's give the meta at least 24 hours to kind of settle down before we bring you guys new decks. So it's been a couple months since I've ranked the legendary cards and a lot of things have changed. So let's just jump right into it here. Real quick side note is I'm using 3 factors here on my ranking on my list. I've aggregated the data from ladder and from challenges, kind of combined that, and I'm also adding just my preference because it's my list after all. So let's get right into it here. There's 15 legendary cards, so we're going to try to go through them really quickly. We don't want this to be a 30-minute video. So number 15 on the list is going to be Ice Wizard. Now, Ice Wizard is an interesting card because he's, first of all of these legendaries are good. None of them, in my opinion, are OP and badly in need of a nerf, so it's different than every single time I've done this list in the past, guys. You know, I mean, you can make a case that any of these legendary cards honestly belong anywhere on this list. So Ice Wizard is a good card. He's used in a variety of different decks. Just the win rates and the use rates are still low, and they still linger behind all of the other legendary cards. That's why Ice Wizard, I still think, could maybe stand from a small buff to his damage. He's going to be number 15 on the list. Number 14 is going to be the Mega Knight. Mega Knight still isn't as good as he once was. Well, that's an understatement. He's nowhere near as good as he once was. As a matter of fact, he's the lowest win rate on all of ladder right now. You'd think with that buff he would get some of his, what made him amazing back. It's just not been the case. I mean, maybe to a little bit extent. There's certainly a couple decks that he's viable in, but mostly it's still off meta stuff that you see Mega Knights in. A lot of people kind of bringing out the old Mega Knight bait decks with Skeleton Barrel. It's not a meta deck right now, and while it's solid, Mega Knight's still going to be number 14 on the list. Number 13 on the list is going to be Night Witch. I love Night Witch, but she's only really in one deck, Golem, you know? And maybe she kind of peeks her head into giant decks here and there, but for the most part, she's going to be a complementary troop behind your tank in a big, heavy beatdown deck, usually Golem. Summoning those bats, tough for the opponent to deal with, and the spell damage doesn't immediately get rid of her. So while I love Night Witch, I think that she could also stand from a very small buff, very small, because we don't want to make beat down any stronger than it is, especially with a witch buff, which I'm very worried about. So number 12 on the list is going to be Magic Archer. Probably could have been, you know, arguably number 15, 14, 13 too. A Magic Archer is an interesting card. It still boasts pretty high win rates and very, very modest and low use rates. That's because it's a high skill cap card. We've said this before on the channel. There's not much more to say about Magic Archer. It's a cool card. The fact that it dies to Fireball for 4 elixir really kind of hurts. So Magic Archer, high skill cap, placement on the Magic Archer is absolutely key. I'm not sure that he should be buffed just because of how many pros, how many good players, heck, some of you guys probably have success with him, but either way, he's going to make number 12 on the list. Number 11 on my list is going to be the Princess. How the mighty have fallen. And it's nothing against the Princess. She's still a great card. I actually really like her. And she kind of fits in Hog decks a little bit. You're still seeing that Mini P.E.K.K.A. Hog Princess deck. But other than that, she's all bait. And that's why I have her ranked at number 11. Bait is not in a great spot in the meta, especially with the Fire Spirit buff. I feel like every deck just has like built-in 2 or 3 bait counters. And it can be tricky to actually get some damage onto a tower with a lot of bait decks unless you're a really skilled user. Bait's just not in a great spot in the meta, and because of that, the queen of bait decks, the Princess, that doesn't make sense, did it? The Princess is going to be ranked number 11. Number 10 is going to be a win condition. It's the Lava Hound. Now, Lava Hound and Graveyard, actually, were both very tough because Lava Hound does great on ladder, doesn't do so well at tournament level standard, and Graveyard is the opposite. Does really well at tournament level standard, does really crappy on ladder. So I'm going to place them back to back here at number 9 and 10. So let's talk about Lava Hound first. Lava Hound, I do think that the pups, not the Lava Hound, but the pups might be able to benefit from a very small buff, maybe a HP or maybe a very small damage buff to the pups, just to make it a little bit more viable for everybody not named Botchum. We don't want to make Botchum too OP, but everybody else, we kind of want to play Lava Hound here and there too. We just don't want him to be Lava Hound, that is. We don't want her, it's a she, we don't want her to be as strong as she was back in the day when Lava Hound ruled the meta and we all hated it. At least I did. Remember that? Anybody been around that long? About a year ago? A year and a half ago, when Lava Loon was just the most hated archetype by far. We don't want that again, but a small buff might be good. Number 9, Graveyard again, guys. Graveyard is the number 1 deck, or number 1 legendary card, excuse me, at tournament level standard, but still small use rates at tournament level standard, and that tells me that the people who play Graveyard really know what they're doing, and the rest of us, well, we're just waiting for poison not to counter it anymore. The truth is Graveyard is actually a good card, but you do need that poison bait in the deck that you're going to play Graveyard in, because otherwise, if you go up against somebody with poison, you're kind of screwed as a Graveyard player. Because of that, we're going to keep it kind of in the middle of the pack here at number 9. Number 8 is going to be Lumberjack. Lumberjack's interesting. It was number 12, number 10, and now number 8 on today's rankings. He's moving up because he's being used in more deck archetypes. And the versatility is something that I factor in here for the list. How many decks are they viable in? How many decks do they do well in? There's the Hog Lumberjack deck. There's the Golem Lumberjack deck. There's the Balloon Lumberjack deck. There's quite a few Lumberjack decks out there. Even Giant Lumberjack. Even Bridge Spam Lumberjack, which I shared yesterday. So Lumberjack's going to be 8 on the list. Solid card. Number 7 is going to be Bandit. Bandit, surprisingly to me, Bandit's not my favorite card in the meta right now, but the win rates would say otherwise. She's number 3 at tournament level standard. She's number 5, I believe, on ladder, 5 or 6. So very high win rates, and I can't argue the stats here, so I'm going to put Bandit at number 7. Number 6 is going to be Electro Wizard. Electro Wizard used to be dominant, used to be number 1 on the list every single time that I did it, but he's fallen off a little bit. His win rates are, his use rates are from like 10 to 12 to 13%, both on ladder and in tournaments. He's just not used as much anymore. There's more cards that enter the game, such as Zappies, that also have that that reset ability that the Ewiz used to be very unique, other than the Zap spell and Lightning spell. So I'm going to go ahead and rank him still a very healthy 6, but just not as good as he used to be, and that's probably a good thing because he was dominant. Number 5, you guys might be asking, wait, he's got to top 5 and no Sparky? Wow. Sparky is number 5, and she's been last on the list. She's been close to last on the list. She's never been this high, but you know what, guys? Again, the proof is in the pudding here. Sparky is number 5 in win rates, or number 4 in win rates on ladder. Incredible. She's really good with Giant. She's really good with bait decks, with Zap bait decks, and she can be very difficult to answer because big spells other than Rocket, which is not popular in the meta, don't kill her. You know, she's very hard to deal with. So Sparky is Viva la Sparky. She's doing really good, guys. If you haven't played Sparky in a while and you're not a Sparky believer, you think she's a trash can on wheels, don't say that. I'll ban you from the channel. I'll ban you from the comments. Do not say it. Well, you know what? Give her a try, guys. I think you'll become a believer as well. And I have some good Sparky decks on the way for you guys soon, maybe this week. Number 4 is going to be the Inferno Tower on wings, not wheels, wings. It's the Inferno Dragon, guys. Inferno Dragon, a lot of players have switched from Inferno Tower to Inferno Dragon. You like that mobility. It has to be answered. Against decks where they don't even have a tank, you can still cycle it. That has to be answered. And Inferno Dragon on the tower is the most satisfying thing in the game. Well, it bleeds away all the HP from the tower. I think that Inferno Dragon belongs in a lot of different decks. Again, a lot of different archetypes can make it work. I think it's a very versatile card and a very strong card without being OP. It doesn't need a nerf, in my opinion. Number 3 on the list. Wow, I just love Royal Ghost, guys. I think Royal Ghost, the value that Royal Ghost has, all for 3 elixir, is still incredibly unique in the game. It costs the same as a Knight, but it's so much better, at least in my opinion, right? The invisibility is unique and awesome and difficult to answer at times. It's a good kind of cycle card behind your King Tower to start out the match. Has to be responded to, does a decent amount of damage, has a decent amount of health, and it has splash damage as well. I think that Royal Ghost for 3 elixir continues to be underrated and a very strong card in the game. Again, not needing a nerf, despite the one last balance changes. It doesn't need a nerf, in my opinion. I think it's just a really great card. What about you guys? Do you disagree on Royal Ghost? How do you feel about Royal Ghost? I think that some people love Royal Ghost. Some people are like, meh, average, whatever, middle of the pack. For me, I love it. Number 2 on the list is going to be Miner. Miner's been number 1 for the last 2 or 3 legendary ranking videos I did, maybe even more than that. Miner is a really strong card, but I moved him to number 2 today because I don't know. I don't know. That's a great reasoning, Ash. Go ahead and finish the video there because you can't get any better than that. I moved him to number 2 because I feel like the log is just a little bit better right now. The minor use rates are still incredible, but the win rates are dropping. Now, part of that is just because he's used so much. He is used at like 27% use rate, which is insane at tournament level standard. And on ladder, it's pretty healthy too, over 15%. No other troop legendary is anywhere close. That has to speak to his versatility and just how he fits into a lot of different decks. Again, giant decks, of course, minor even fits into bait decks, and minor goes into every minor control deck or minor poison deck or minor Three Musketeer deck. He's just used in a lot of different decks, and there's no card like it. He can get right to the tower. Miner is an amazing card. Probably could have put it number 1, but today I'm going to switch it up, put him number 2. And I don't think he needs a nerf either. I don't think any of these cards need a nerf. Number 1 on the list is the log. The log is so unique and so unsexy. Like the log, a 2 elixir card that you just throw down the lane and it's a spell, right? It's not the coolest legendary card, but it's definitely the best in my opinion. Log fits in like every deck. It's a spell, right? And there's no other, well, I guess Graveyard is a legendary spell, but there's no other legendary spell quite like it. It's still just the best legendary card in my opinion, and I can't make a case to put Miner over Log. If I had to choose one card in like a draft as the first card, I'd still take Log over Miner, even though it's not a win condition. I just think it answers so many problems. You know, that's what keeps bait decks in check. Even with Giant Snowball, I still think Log is the best legendary card. I think the Giant Snowball maybe landed a little bit soft. So guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. What are your top maybe 1, 2, 3 legendaries? And what are your worst 1, 2, 3 legendary cards? I really can't wait to hear your opinions on this one. This was a very tough list to make this time, guys. So again, I can't wait to read your feedback and see what cards that you put there and maybe even give some reasoning as to why I'm wrong. So guys, huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.